At Dover Downs International Speedway, NASCAR on TNT, bringing you the MBNA.com 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series. A couple of pace laps away from the green flag, so let's get some reports on pit road before we start. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Alan, one driver to keep your eye on today is Elton Sawyer. He hasn't won since May of 1999, but he is due, and in a big way, starting with this event back in June here at Dover. He's gone on a tear of 11 top 10 finishes in his last 12 races. He's never won here, but he is due in a big way. He was the fastest car in happy hour. Keep an eye on Sawyer. Marty Snyder?
Well, Matt, we've talked about how it was a difficult week for a lot of people. It was a difficult week for Kevin Harvick's team. Of course, nothing like the people who were directly affected by the tragedy. But Kevin plane was landing in Memphis for a test when the World Trade Center bombings happened. When the planes hit the Trade Center, his plane was landing. Well, they had to drive all the way back to Welcome, North Carolina, 13 guys in a van for 12 hours. And then Harvick, who was supposed to be on vacation, was sent all the way back to Florida to meet up with his wife, Delana. 8 hours it took him to get there. I'm tired of thinking about that entire trip, but a very difficult week for Kevin Harvick. The best thing they got out of that is they bonded a little bit together on the way to Welcome, North Carolina. To Dave Burns.
Marty, if you've ever driven behind a passenger car and see the bumper sticker Semper Fi, it stands for Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful, the Marine Corps slogan. Now, the Marine Corps representatives here who sponsor Randy Tolsma's number 25 tell me that in addition to the increased interest from people who have never been in the Marine Corps just calling up and saying, hey, what do I do to get involved now? They've had a whole lot of calls from their faithful, the former Marines, who have said, anytime you need me, I'm ready to go. Liz?
There will be a lot of cars today with stars on them and stripes and flags as well. But Ashton Lewis's car, the 46 car, is decked out from front to back in the Spirit of America car. These guys are unfunded. They're unsponsored. They put all their funds together. They worked all day on Tuesday to get their car ready for this weekend, and they are ready to show some American spirit today. Alan?
All right, Liz, thanks. Half a lap from the green. If you notice, the racing surface here at Dover, if you've never seen an event from this track before, is white. It's made of concrete instead of pavement. The first laps of this race, the guys in that outside lane are going to be treading very lightly.
Absolutely. You want to get to the bottom as quick as possible. You're going to be screaming at your spotter, get me low, because that bottom groove is going to be the fastest groove. It's the one that has grip right now.
Because it's where all the cars have run in practice when they've been single file. That's where all the rubber's in. See the dark black line? And it's lighter up the top of the racetrack. You don't want to be out in that light stuff on this concrete surface here at the Monster Mile.
But that won't last long. About halfway of this race, there will be 2 grooves at this racetrack, and it becomes a terrific race.
Great crowd on hand, all on their feet, ready to see some good old American stock car racing. NASCAR underway at Dover.
Jeff Green, the yellow 10 car, got him a hole. He was able to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Ryan Newman leads. Mike Skinner is taken second. It's Jeff Green third, Kevin Harvick fourth, and Jimmy Spencer fifth. Here comes Spencer, looking on Harvick for fourth.
This is one of those racetracks where you really need to give a guy a lot of room. You're so much on the edge here, just a little bit of a touch, and it's hard to save the race car, especially if a guy touches you. You're up on the outside lane. BP, there's just no grip there, so you need the whole racetrack to save yourself.
Oh, Kevin Harvick, that car almost rushes the wall off turn 2. And look how much space he lost when he had to jump out of the throttle as he exited turn 2.
Challenge for the lead, Mike Skinner in the 21, looking on Ryan Newman.
And here goes Skinner once again, but he's not there. Is he there? No.
And if you're Newman, the guy that's being challenged for a position at this racetrack, Wally, that's a really precarious spot to be in.
Yeah, it really is. And if Mike's going to be that determined to try to get by it, right now they got enough gap on third place. He can crack the throttle, let Mike go. If Mike's faster, just drop back in the line. But I'll guarantee you, Michael is going to be relentless. He wants that point.
And finally, he's there. Here's Skinner on the bottom of the racetrack for the lead.
First lead change of the day. Skinner to the point. Lap number 5. Now Spencer creeping in on the back of Newman. I tell you, Spencer and this team have been tough this year. Since he got into this car about a third of the way into the season, they have been strong.
They've got a ton of confidence. I mean, every time they run up front. They won a few races this year. Those guys are on a high. They feel great, and that helps, especially when you come to a place like Dover. It's a tough racetrack.
Spencer won here in the season's first race at Dover back in early June.
Oh, he's right on that back bumper of Ryan Newman. Newman hacks the back off the gas, and Spencer goes to second spot.
This is a real easy place to get a guy loose, especially getting up off of 4. If you put that nose right under his rear bumper, you're going to lift a little bit of that air off that rear car, and you come off that corner and you get a little bit sideways. You check up, and you're there.
Marty?
Well, we talked about earlier how Ryan Newman, normally we talk about how he's fast at the beginning of the run especially. They don't expect to be very fast today at the beginning of the run. They say the car is much more consistent today, very good on the longer runs. Right now, very loose for Ryan Newman, but this is kind of what they expected at the beginning of the run. They again think they will be better the longer they go.
This is third place. Newman is being challenged by Jeff Green. That was Mike Harmon's car that was on the apron of the racetrack. You saw these guys flash by. He's turning into the Busch Series garage.
And Jeff Green, the 10 car, puts the pole sitter Ryan Newman back to 4th. And you talked about the Marty Snyder talked about the 0-2 car being a little bit loose. In other words, the back end of the car trying to come around like he's on ice. But as they run, as they use fuel in these cars, and the back end gets lighter, that problem will get better.
Here comes Newman trying to get back on green. We look back. Kevin LePage is on the move. 71 car.
And we see Newman back on the 10 car, trying to take that spot back from Jeff Green.
And traffic starting to stack up behind him.
Oh, look at that 0-2 car. Start wiggling the back end. Once again, trying to get a little bit loose. Let me show you exactly what we're talking about when we talk about being loose. Let's go inside our Williams virtual garage and show you. Car goes down the corner. Here is the preferred line on the bottom of the racetrack. And watch the back end. All of a sudden, that's a little exaggerated, but that's what we mean when we say loose.
Condition Ryan Newman is fighting now. You can see his challenge for third place on Jeff Green is ended. And now he's trying to defend 4th on Kevin Harvick. Stacked up behind them, the 34s, David Green, the 18, Mike McLaughlin in there. Got Elton Sawyer, Kevin LePage, Greg Biffle. LePage going on the outside of David Green to get a spot.
And it looks like that outside line is already at just 15 laps trying to come in.
Caution, trouble in turn 4.
Curtis Davis has spun the 77 car. And has he made contact? Maybe not. Of course, that left side's awful droopy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's clean.
Good.
Well, he must have known he had a problem to get it stopped before you hit something here at Dover. Doesn't usually happen. So
that's
caution is up. Yes, it is. 15 laps in. We're under yellow in the MBNA.com 200. It's Dover Downs International Speedway with NASCAR on TNT, bringing you the MBNA.com 200. We're under caution. Curtis Davis spun in turn 4, though he didn't hit anything. AC Delco bringing you our look at the NASCAR Busch Series Championship standings. Kevin Harvick leading Jason Keller by 274 points with 7 races to go in the season. Harvick is running 5th. Jason Keller started 9th. but he fell back to 20th in those first 15 laps and then came down pit road under the caution flag. And Marty Snyder has an update there for us.
Yeah, he came down and lost a lot of spots, as you mentioned, on the racetrack. Alan, the car extremely loose for Jason Keller, and they put a full rubber in the right front. They closed up the left rear shock and the right front shock. All of those things should tighten him up. Jason, of course, second in points right now. They need a very good run, and this is one of his better racetracks, hoping that these big changes early on will help later in the race. They did not change any tires.
It's going to put Keller all the way back to 38th place for the restart, which will come up when we come back to the Monster Mile on TNT.